This is my buddy Anton, longtime friend. He's got more engineering experience than I do, and I figured I would get his advice on the mix because I could use as much advice as I could possibly get. So we're gonna listen to the track real quick, and then we're gonna get Anton's just kind of top line thoughts on what he thinks and how I can improve the mix. We're gonna listen real quick. Whew. That's the track,
Dude,
man.
This is awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Wow. It's just, I mean, I guess we'll just start off by like the history between us.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, this song just encapsulates the progress I think you've made throughout the years, dude. Like it's crazy that I haven't seen you in this long and like hearing the improvement.
I think it's been 5. I think it's been
4
probably about 4 or 5
yeah.
years, yeah.
And like I hear the progression of like talent.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Like you're discovering it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. I love to hear it, dude. And
Thank
it's
you.
coming from a place that's like very you know, like the lyrics and everything are like so much just on you, you know, like 4 or 5 years later, like, oh, that's Josh. I know that's Josh. Like, still talking about, you know, love and the concept of continuing on from the toughest things that you faced in your life. It's such a cool, like, full circle thing to, you know.
It's interesting that you took it that way, too, because this, for me, like, especially it just started off as, like, this was definitely one of the more just, like, you know, it was a producer-driven track, for sure. Like, I have my like singer-songwriter songs that like I sit down at a guitar or like I just write the lyrics and then I craft the song around that. This was one where like I built it kind of just like from the ground up, just like with the production in mind, and then kind of just filled in the lyrics as I went.
Got it.
And like it was a lot of like I've heard the best way I've heard it said is like Louis Capaldi in an interview. He said there are some songs that are just gobbledygook. Is how he put it. It's like they're just words. You're just kind of like throwing words on the canvas and like seeing what sticks. And like those can be great songs as well. And then you have your more like singer-songwriter style songs that are a lot more I think heartfelt and like a lot more intimate in the lyrics and what they're trying to say. And this was very much more of one of those like producer-driven songs.
I like that.
And
I like learning about these kind of things because it helps with the mix. Learning your background on like where you were when you first started the song, how the song came to be. These things really do make the mix, you know, impact them like in subtle ways, because while you're working you're just like get it out, right? You're just in that like I want to be in the songwriting mode all the time, right?
So I'll walk you through the so the initial conception. I just hooked up my iPad over here at like with the Logic remote, and it had one of the bigger like things on it were the MIDI effects, which I like never use. I just like never use the MIDI effects. And first thing on there was the arpeggiator, which I just like almost never use. And I threw it on, and it was literally like one of the first keyboard sounds that like it's just like the stock like Logic keyboard sound. And I just started playing some chords, and I'm like, this sounds great. Like I need to record this. And so I recorded that, and then I found some drums that I liked for it with Superior Drummer. And I'd kind of learned I'd been listening lately. I watched a video on Tame Impala. Like undeniably just has some of the best drum sounds I've ever heard. I just love how like kind of big they sound, but like also crunchy and like they're just these. And I didn't know really how to attain that, but I watched in a video someone was talking about how you can use Devil Lock by Sound Toys on like a roomy drum to sort of give it that feel.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that's what I did on this one.
Got it. Okay.
And it just gives it sort of that. Here, I'll solo it. I'll solo it real quick.
I like them. They're great.
Because I mean, without it, I hate it. I hate these drums without it, and with it, I just think it sounds. So this is. it kind of just compresses all of that room noise and everything and keeps everything super big. Like without it.
Oh man, yeah. It's a huge.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So isn't that just like just that right there? Like you go from
attitude.
So much attitude and just like flavor. Yeah. Anyways, that was.
So that's the drums.
That was like what inspired. Yeah, that was what inspired this song.
So it was the arpeggio and then the drums.
Yeah, it was the arpeggiator on the keys, which is that sound you hear.
I think I'm hearing it in my mind.
Yeah. I'll play it for you. Super simple. And that cuts out. It changes a little bit for the chorus. Super simple, but I like sort of that the saturation it has, the little bit of crunch to it.
Got a distortion. Really nice.
Which, let's see, for this one, that was just the stock drive knob that I just cranked up and I liked it. And then on a lot of these elements, I have the one knob from Waves, the one knob pumper, specifically to give it sort of that, you can hear kind of the bouncy effect, which I thought just like fits this song for so many of the elements.
Especially with the lyrics.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, what are your like first listen, what are like your top line thoughts on like anything that stuck out to you as like as that you liked about the mix, or that you didn't like, you felt like was missing, or like areas that could be improved on?
I think you nailed it with the emotional part of the mix, where everything is distorted, crunchy, punchy. Your voice is there too. All of the melodic content. It has that like edge, the devil lock on the drums. Yeah. Distortion on the Rhodes or in the arp here, and like it all has that attitude, and the lyrics and everything. They all, it all works together. This is a song that'll come out. Like for now, what I think the mix is now balancing and having the juxtaposition, right? Of the times of when you have the really loud moments where you're hitting your chorus and you're, belting it and you're really feeling that emotion, right? Right. Make sure that those break sections are still a little bit quieter. Yeah. So then that time comes in where it is the chorus and you're like, wow. Right. It hits you with like everything. You throw everything at the listener. Yeah. Right now, I feel like you're just kind of going 9 to 10 energy the whole time. Yeah. And like, I love that kind of music. Don't get me wrong. And as a producer, I like that stuff because I'm like, yeah. But as a listener, sometimes I kind of want to hear. That sounds to me like it could be exhausting the listener. Exactly. I think you make a great point, and I think it would also it makes the chorus, because if everything's at 10, and the verse is at 10 and the pre-chorus is at 10 and then the chorus is at 10, there's no variation. Where's the 9? Yeah. Where's the 5? Where you're just softly speaking in that breakdown that I can hear. Right. I can hear that you're trying to do that, but not to put it in a negative sense. You were just in the production stage, right? This is where you're just like, I need to get the ideas down, right? And like, what I've learned from, doing this stuff too more recently is the division of producer and then mix mastering. Really dividing when you're doing those things and being intentional is gonna make you just like progress faster, I think, than being like, oh, I have this really cool melodic idea or this cool vocal idea that I need to get down, and then I'm in my head like, oh, I'm gonna EQ this, oh, I'm gonna compress this. I'm like, where'd the idea go? I lost it. Right. Like, how could you ever expect anyone to, do both things at the same time? You know what? That's a great point, and I've been using Ozone, and I think shout out to Ozone. Shout out to Isotope, recently acquired by Native Instruments. So I don't know who to shout out anymore. Do we shout out? It would be Native Instruments. Do we shout out Native Instruments? Okay, shout out Native Instruments.
I've been using Ozone as a great way for me to not worry about the mix so much.
As a Band-Aid.
Like, it's a great Band-Aid to just get me through the production and hear just kind of what it will sound like after the fact, because I'm like, sometimes I'm in the idea and I want to know what it's going to sound like, polished and clean at the end of the mix.
I think
I can't always achieve that without getting really like heavy into mixing. And then, like you said, that takes away from just the creation and just getting the idea on the page or in the DAW.
There's just so many times for me personally where I've been in that spot where I'm just like, oh, I love this idea, this melodic idea, and then I start getting in the mix of it because I wanted the perfectionism of me to like have this done already, and like I lost the idea, and then that song goes in the graveyard, and you're like, dang, I really like this idea, but then you can bring things out of the graveyard, but it takes a long time. Personally, it's just like you have that emotional attachment to your music, like we were talking about at dinner, is we have our emotional attachment to the music and we want it as best as we can, so we're going to get into that overanalyzing aspect of ourselves, right? So we're going to throw on Ozone and just be like, oh yeah, this is where this will be. Cool, okay, but where will it be if I had that off? Right?
That's okay.
Where will I be if I have it off, and how can I balance it closer to like where it would be? Right?
That's what I try and I try and do. I always make sure before I put it on, I'm like, okay, I'd be okay with the mix where it's at.
That's good.
I'd be okay with the mix where it's at without it. But like I'd be lying if I didn't say it just does stuff that like I don't even understand, and it just makes it sound better. And I'm just like, I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how to do that, and I should learn. I should definitely learn.
Sure, but like Ozone is been around and has been a thing, and you can learn to do those things through those modules. At least it is a whole mastering suite, right? Instead of you having to go and start picking out your favorite EQs and compressors and limiters, instead they just have it there, so you just pick and start using them. But like, don't get me wrong, like Ozone's still good. Like,
it's good.
How did it cut?
Start this, I
wonder how long ago that was.
So we were just talking about Ozone and where its strengths and its also its weaknesses, and it can definitely be a crutch, but you want to definitely learn. You want to learn what it's doing, why it's doing it, and how to do it on your own, so you can. You can be the best, producer and mixer you possibly can be.
And if everyone else is using it, might as well, right? Like, and be good at it. Right? And so then you are starting to become intentional about what you're doing with each one of the modules. But it's an art form. That's like mixing, mastering, producing, like the way that Steve was talking about. He's just like, they're their own profession. They're like in a pop studio. Those are two different people on a salary. Like, think about it, man. That's the thing nowadays, right? Is we're doing all of it.
I know. Like, that's the hardest. That's the hardest part. Is how do you specialize?
And in promotion now.
Oh my gosh! In promotion, self-marketing.
Where we're on labels. Where we're on mixing and mastering engineers. Where we're on producers, and for you especially, a very talented vocalist. So, at the end of the day, might as well start putting on the different. Remember a long time ago, it was the different personas, the different superheroes that you have, your different superhero personalities. See, that's what I thought of with mixing and mastering, producing and all that
just
stuff.
Just putting on those different hats.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because then you'll start to come with intention, right? Because like when you're in production mode, dude, all I want to do is live it up, like let it come to me, right? Like I'm letting all the good vibes come in, and like oh, there's that melody, oh, there's that bass, okay, drum time, right? You're letting it flow, right? But mixing and mastering, that's not that, dude. It's intention. It's like, okay, I listen to your drum kit and I think this poked out just a little bit too much. Like you're not doing that during production phase, or you're gonna exhaust yourself.
I know. You're entirely right, and I think that's how I do exhaust myself, is trying to do that stuff too soon, and that's why I think it's gonna be good to add some separation going forward in this in the creation of this album, it's going to be good to use that separation of
totally.
Right now, I am producing, finishing the production, the writing these songs of this body of work. Then, with the time that I have left, I will consult professionals or put on that hat and do what I can.
For sure, dude.
And then probably bring it to someone else.
On it too. No, bring everyone involved.
Yeah,
I think that's what some of the biggest artists do too.
Absolutely.
They have that team around them and they have the money to just be like, okay, well I have this other homie that I can just put on a payroll because I like how he listens to my drums.
Yeah.
It's shit like that, but we're putting a lot of those hats on. Don't be too hard on yourself about it, right?
Yeah.
Because like at first we were all in the same boat where we're just like, we want some tunes, we want to make so much good shit, and then all of a sudden you learn like what's involved in each one of those things, and you're like, wow, okay, there's a reason why these literally in pop studios, professional levels, $1 million listens, like there's different guys for this that are telling you, I don't think this was good, or they're constantly feedbacking each other, and from a professional level.
Absolutely.
That's like.
No, and because I've worked with engineers that like I didn't like how they produced things, and I've worked with producers where I didn't like how they engineered things.
Exactly.
And they aren't always. It really is. It kind of requires a very very different analytical side of the brain that you're not trying to get involved.
Left brain, right brain.
You're not trying to get involved with that analytical side of the brain while you're producing. Thank you. I think that's, of course, man. That's incredible advice.
You're welcome, man. Because I had to learn that myself. And like, it's just one of those things now where instead of I feel more comfortable in the rawness of my music. Where I'm like, oh wow, okay, well I can leave this kind of like it is, so I can move on, and make it, what it is. And then another great point is for what you were saying earlier about how you want to start separating the processes. Yeah. There are album masters. There are album mixers. Right. For that reason. Literally, how the hell are you going to tell a producer, make a 30-track album and mix and master it and have all the promo done for it? Like, no, you have to separate the processes, man. You have to okay, I have 60 songs now and I can pick 30 of them. Yeah. Or even just 35 of them, whatever. Right. Just throwing shit at the wall and not holding yourself to a standard, right? Because that's your mixing brain. That's your mixing brain going oh, it needs to be at this caliber because it... But then you realize later on in your career that oh, you can compress this to do this, right? Yeah. You learn those things. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, I love being in that place of making, right? So if I separate the processes enough, I'm damn, wow, okay. Now I'm not pressuring myself as much. I'm getting out more stuff just by not caring the end result at that point. Absolutely. But it does come different between you and me where it's vocals, right? Because if you're going to put all that time into a vocal, it should be a song that you're going to put out, right? That's something, I think you can definitely check yourself or balance yourself on. There's so much it's so personal. Yeah. When you're sitting there listening back to your own vocal, you can't help but I can't help, and I know probably every other singer is like this. Mm-hmm. I can't help but let that analytical part of my brain turn on, and it's no, I need this to sound really good. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't want anybody to hear this. Yeah. I don't want a single person. I don't want my neighbors to hear this. I don't want the person listening outside to hear this. I am embarrassed until this sounds, until it is at a point where I am okay with it. Got it. And for me, I feel as time goes on too, you're just like we were talking about earlier, it's a taste thing. Yeah, for sure. And your tastes just kind of grow and evolve. But it also comes with, so there's a negative side to it as well, where you start to nitpick and you start to get very, which is it's good and bad, because it makes for good performances, and it makes for good songs with good vocals, but it does allow that analytical part of your brain to come out very early on in the process. As soon as you start recording vocals, that's when I hit
that's when sometimes my songs can be dead in the water.
Wow.
As soon as I start
Just
recording
right at the
vocals.
Okay.
As soon as the vocals, I will often delay recording vocals as long as I can.
Got it.
Because as soon as I record those vocals, sometimes that will kill a song for me.
Got it. The only way I can comment on this is by asking a question, and the question is kind of complex. Where the things that I've been uncomfortable with doing in music, I always thought of just like OCDing it and just going crazy. Like when I was not good at drums or I just didn't like how I was doing drums at that time, I would just be making drums like crazy. I'm just curious if like you've ever done like, oh, I'll just make like 5 or 6 vocal sessions of just like different songs or something, or like just have like a songwriting session that's like 3 different songs or something, and then you can maybe build the instrumental around it later. I don't know. I'm just curious. So then you can avoid that, like you can stay in that that analytical part of you, because you do need it for lyric writing. You can't avoid that. I don't think you have to think about like your next steps or what's intentional when you're writing lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like writing a book.
It's at the right time, right? Like you have to know when to turn it off and when to turn it on.
Got it.
When you're first writing, you have to actively you cannot let that part of your brain get involved too early, because then you stop the flow. There's nothing else that will come out of you, because the right part of your brain gets afraid of that analytical part that's just going to be like, oh, the next line I'm going to say, left brain's going to say, no, this sucks. This is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. No.
Got it.
And like they're kind of always at war. So the more you can just get into that right brain and just vomit onto a page as long as you can, then go back later and use the analytical part. So you're right. You're right in the fact that you have to use both sides, but it has to be also, like you said, you have to know which hat you're wearing.
Got it. Okay. It's the awareness of it.
Yeah.
See? Okay, because as someone who, I know how to like mix vocals and I kind of know how to sing. If you were to make me sing on a mic, I'll do it. But you can
figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But like for you, it's now the artistic part. Like for me, I'll just engineer it. Yeah. No one's gonna be like, oh, that sounds nice, but where's that emotional lift? Yeah. That's where artistry is, right?
And I think you're entirely right, and I think it's something that I've done well in separating those two parts of myself in songwriting, in lyric writing.
Okay.
But I've yet to do that, I think, in vocal recording, and I think that's the next step for me. And I think thank you for highlighting that. I think that's what I need to focus on, separating those two parts of myself in the recording. And
because it is a lot to be in the like when I was recording vocalists at the studio, like it's go time, it's show time for sure.
Right.
Like the tenses are on. You probably had the what is that drink? The tea, the Theraflu stuff that you drink for your
throat coat.
Yeah, throat coat.
Oh yeah.
And you're like.
I've done 2 sips of Diet Pepsi.
Nice.
I've heard all the tricks.
Yeah, you have your. But I'm trying to like emphasize how like the pressure is on in a vocal recording session.
Absolutely.
And like if you're able to divide those two parts of yourself, I think you will also learn that there's a skill there.
Yeah.
There's a skill behind that.
That's another element to it. I'm usually by myself when I'm recording vocals. For sure. I have only had a handful of experiences in a studio setting recording vocals in front of other people. I think there's a bit of I actually kind of like it. Like I like the fact that it feels more like a performance.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I enjoy performing music for people live.
I would say you're a performer. First.
Absolutely.
That's at least how I met you.
100%. That is, the more I've come to know about myself, the more I understand that I really like to entertain people, and like that's a big part of what makes me. And so performing in a live setting, whether that's at a bar or it's in a studio with an engineer or someone else listening, there's a bit more of that feeling as opposed to when I'm just by myself.
Yeah, there definitely is.
99% of the time I'm recording vocals. So it's almost, additionally, it's finding ways to turn that part of my brain on as well, the performer, the entertainer,
Just have fun with it.
While I'm recording vocals by myself.
Yeah, because it's going to impact the recording too.
Yeah.
Like, I think humans can subtly notice that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, if you're not like wanting to record the take, I think you can hear that.
Yeah.
As a person, right?
In a weird way, it comes off. It's all about the vibrations.
Yeah, but no, like, it's not like a pressure thing. You know, it's more of like discover like how you're reacting in that time. You know, it's very much like psychological. Like, you know, like, oh, I noticed that I'm getting analytical about this. Okay, save the idea for later, maybe. You'll find your techniques, I think, when you start to. For me, it is the I'll do that later kind of thing, where the idea comes up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll save that for later. If it comes up later, then it wasn't. It was important, right? So it is one of those things, though, that like you got to be in the heat, right? Like you got to be on the burner and not avoid, or you know, don't avoid it anymore.
Absolutely.
Get uncomfortable.
Well, man, this conversation took a wild route here. This is gonna be fun to edit.
Mastering is, dude.
Right. Exactly.
It's really thinking about the song from that macro perspective, and like what came into the song. What kind of recording equipment did you even use, bro? Because like that makes the difference, right? How did you even feel during the track? Like, I love learning that music really is kind of that over-encompassing thing. Sometimes it's really not about the product. It's actually about the process. The process.
Oh, the person.
The journey.
Yeah. I like that.
Like all of it, right? I'm so lucky to kind of learn these things and unlearn and then teach everyone else, right? Because it's like so mind-opening, right? Because I literally watched you connect the dots.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing, right? Like, you just connected the dots for yourself, and now you know what you want to do, right?
Right.
Like, what did I do? Oh, I just asked you questions about the song, and now you're like, okay, now I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into a feedback, you know, and move on. So,
wow.
Yeah. No, this is a very good conversation, man. I'm actually very proud of myself for it, too. Don't get me wrong.
No, seriously. Great job, man.
Thanks, man.
Well...
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, dude.
This is my homie Anton. I'm gonna put his information. He works in a project called Dreamcode as well that you can check out. You can check out their music. I'm gonna put all that stuff in the description. Definitely go check it out. He just dropped some serious wisdom bombs on me. So
thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. So, anyways, we'll see you tomorrow.
Pieces.